What ho, chaps, how the devil? I was going to cover this during today's BBC Spews, but it's too funny. I didn't want it to get missed in with an hour's ranting and raving, so I thought I'd make it its own video, and let me tell you, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. First things first though, the BBC changed this headline, right, because it says 33 minutes ago it was updated. When I first saw this headline early this morning, it said players report body shaming in New Zealand review. And obviously they knew. The BBC must know. Maybe they're watching the BBC Spews, I hope so. But they obviously know that people like me are hysterically splitting our sides when we see the absolute drivel that they write. So they changed it, and the headline now says players report cultural insensitivity in New Zealand review. But just listen to this, right? If you've ever wondered why nobody wants to watch the Women's World Cup, or why the women's sports just don't seem to, for some reason, I can't put my finger on it, they just don't seem to have quite the same, I don't know, is it the same athleticism maybe as the men's?
Sends it back in.
I love the way the commentator on that was pissing himself laughing. Imagine that, he's like a professional sports commentator and he sees that and he's just like, fuck me backwards. Brilliant. Yeah, so maybe I think I've put my finger on the reason, fellow chuckler at women's sporting moments. I think I've put my finger on why they're not particularly good. Do you know why, ladies and gents? I'm sure you do if you watch the Angry Bootneck. It's because professional sports, especially women's professional sports, are apparently no longer a meritocracy. Yes, you heard that right. It no longer matters who the best player is. Let's have a read. New Zealand players have reported culturally insensitive comments and alleged favouritism, ghosting and body shaming from coaches. Right, first things first. Ghosting. Fucking speak English, please, woke people. Ghosting. I don't even know what that is. I'm going to have to Google it. I'm sorry, I don't speak youth. Secondly, favouritism. Let me just say this for any people that are a bit slow, right? When you're a professional athlete, among the things you have to be good at, the only thing you have to be good at is your chosen sport. That's it. You don't have to be eloquent, Wayne Rooney. You don't have to be good looking, Ian Dowie. You don't have to be charismatic and charming. You don't have to be tall. All you have to be is good at your sport of choice. By favouritism, I'm assuming they're alleging that the coaches have favourites. Yeah. Now, I'll pick Middlesbrough because I'm a Middlesbrough fan. This is Justin Hoyt. He played for Middlesbrough. He was terrible. My mate used to go and watch the Borough matches with his mate from Ireland, and he was a Borough fan, lived in Middlesbrough for like 11 years, so he started following the team. And he used to call him Justin Shite because he was that bad. Justin is one of these relatively recent English footballers who is basically an athlete. Because he was fast and his parents were athletes and he could run, he became a footballer. He couldn't kick a fucking ball. He couldn't head a ball. He could do nothing but run fast. He was utterly talentless, and watching him was painful. This is Juninho. The mercurial Brazilian god was the finest player I've ever witnessed in person. I had a season ticket in October 1995. I used to go and see him every Saturday. He was absolutely superb. He used to get the ball. Everybody in the stadium would be on their feet, because he'd go on these mazy runs and just skin people all day long. Why do I mention these two? Well, because it's simple. I'm assuming the coach at Middlesbrough had a favourite. If he had to choose between Juninho and Justin Shite, he wouldn't flip a coin for fear of being accused of favouritism. No, he would say, Justin, you useless baldy cunt, you can barely kick a ball. Shut your fucking mouth and pass it to the Brazilian. That's what he would say, because that's what professional coaches do for a living, right? And as for body shaming, fuck me backwards. Body shaming in professional athletics. What do you want? If Harry Kane turned up for the next England game and he had tits, I think the manager would have something to say about it, don't you? The allegations come as part of a cultural review. Fuck me. set up for New Zealand Rugby. It was triggered after hooker Te Kurangata said she had a mental breakdown following alleged comments by head coach Glenn Moore. Boo fucking who. I never thought I would become mentally ill in a sport I loved so much. Listen, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. I'll quote my inner Gordon Ramsay. Go for a jog, fatty, sort your life out, train harder and be better. That's what a coach probably said to her, and therefore she's now mentally ill. Do me a favour. Moore is committed to learning from the review and remains head coach. Oh yeah, so what's he going to learn? Play the shit players first. Is this some type of sick joke? I wouldn't want my coach putting in the shit players in primary school football, let alone professional athletics. Given approximately 50% of the side are Maori and 25% are Pacifica, the review said a greater understanding from management on how to communicate with these players in a culturally sensitive and safe manner is needed. What a load of gobbledygook, and again they always say safe, yeah? Words are violence, silence is violence. Ooh, safety, you're affecting our safety. Bullshit, Mr. Handman. They're telling you when you suck because they want to win the game. Simple as that. Look at it, just look at it. After a 2017 report produced similar findings, there is a need to monitor, review outcomes, AOC's favourite word, so they do not become public relations exercises rather than vehicles for sustainable change. We're talking about winning a bastard rugby game, not building a wind farm, you stupid hippie. And player concerns about insufficient investment in understanding how to coach women. Well, being an egalitarian and a feminist, I always thought you just coach women the same as you coach men. Treat them the same. Treat them as being tough, stoic professionals who'll do as they're told. But apparently not. Apparently, if you walk and you work for the BBC, you understand that you need to treat women differently because they're special and they're a little bit delicate and they can't take it. So you have to be different because that's the enlightened thing to do. It's to obsess over people's gender and race and treat everybody differently. Yep, enlightened. And New Zealand Rugby said they're going to create additional support and resources to focus on team culture and leadership and place an emphasis on existing policies and new initiatives that focus on the health and well-being of players and management. So again, another word soup. Focus on the health and well-being. Well, I'll tell you how you do that. When one of your players needs to lose some timber, you say, "Oi, fatty, sort your life out. I'm not putting you in the team if you look like you'll have a stroke walking up the stairs." Right? You need some abs. You need a six-pack. Not a keg. That's how you sort it out. So brilliant that. I absolutely love it. You know this is all total bollocks. If the coach marched out the fucking changing room, slapped one of them on the arse and went, "Wait, get back in the kitchen, sugar tits," I could possibly understand it. But judging by the story, that's not what happened. And these people need to get a grip before New Zealand Rugby goes the way of the dodo. And they go from being the best in the world to the fucking worst, purely due to wokeism. Yet another headstone in the colossal woke graveyard. They kill everything good, and they're getting started on rugby next. Winner. Thanks for watching, ladies and gents. I will see you all at 7 p.m. tomorrow. Cheers.